Okay. So I had an interruption last one and I realized I'm at 20 minutes. That's a really good stopping point. And it allows me to open up into the next segment. So this is part 2 of the emotions, your subconscious mind's love language. And this is Psych Soup with Anna Imagination from the Healing Garden. So I left off explaining that emotions are on a spectrum and that when your fear system gets turned on by your subconscious mind, and you get all these mental illnesses now flooding in to help accommodate the safety feature that needed to get activated because you, the general up in your Peace Corps, was wadding up messages from the front line and throwing them away instead of reading them. So now the subconscious mind is still sending you messages. It doesn't stop sending messages. I see this guy, this courier coming back saying, "We delivered your message, you lieutenant, but we received no feedback yet." And the subconscious mind is sitting there going, "Keep trying, Johnson. I'm going to fight them off." And there you go. So the messages keep going through the whole war. Messages are coming back. They're getting more and more intense, more and more severe. Holy shit, you should see what's happening. And the subconscious mind is sending things off to the front line or from the front lines, and the Peace Corps is just, they're biting their nails and they're like sucking their thumb and rocking in the corner. Well, that's you. So when you get an emotion, they feel different at different levels. So fear level 1 doesn't feel like fear level 10, which is the problem. This is the problem. Because you think, we all think, that fear level 10 feels like fear level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it doesn't. Fear level 1 feels like something completely different. Fear level 2 feels like something completely different. So when you learn fear, you get fear level 10. That's, oh my God, there's been a car accident and you were in the car. That's fear level 10. You look down and you see a fuzzy before you can process that it's not a bug, and you have fear level 10. Do you see how stupid the subconscious mind is? That you have the same fear of being in a car accident as you do with seeing a cat fuzz stuck to your clothes. That is how stupid the subconscious mind is. That it uses level 10 fear for both of those situations. Okay? So when I say to you, the subconscious mind is really stupid, that's why. That's why. So level fear 1 actually is the feeling discomfort. It's that I don't feel good about this. That is level 1 fear. And its name is discomfort, but it's actually fear. Now, I want you to take a moment and imagine what every discomfort you have had feels like. Just pick something. What's uncomfortable to you? For me, it's meeting new people. Now, that's fear at work. What else makes you uncomfortable? Holidays. Holidays make me uncomfortable. Going upstate makes me uncomfortable. Leaving New York City makes me uncomfortable. Getting a 9-to-5 job and living back in the patriarch makes me really uncomfortable, like level 5 uncomfortable. Okay, now stay with me. So level 1 of discomfort all the way up to like level 6 is discomfort. Now, fear starts to feel like fear when you're in an emergency. So by the time you feel fear, it's too late. Unless it's an unidentified fuzzy on your clothes. I can't explain the subconscious mind. I just don't. I really don't understand it some days. I discover shit and I just look at it and go, really, Rick? This is the best you can do. By the way, the logic belongs to you, the conscious awareness. Intelligence is yours. You get that. You are smarter than your subconscious mind. You really are. You really are. And this is the best part. Because you're smarter and because you're logical and that thing is stupid as fuck, there's a way around it. So I'm going to show you how to get around the subconscious mind. Now keep in mind, it's a grunt. It's a Marine. Well, not a Marine. It's a grunt. It's on the front lines. It's indispensable. But it's been handed a lot of power. See the problem? See the problem? You put things on the front line because you can risk losing them. See how that works? And yet the subconscious mind is on the front line. You, the conscious awareness, should be on the front line. But we weren't trained how to do that. So we're going to go over that later. Right now, we're just going to talk about what those messages from your subconscious mind are and what you're supposed to do with them when you feel them. So, discomfort is the feeling that you are not safe. It is a feeling of this is not good for your system. Now, we usually judge whether or not something is good for our system based on our physical location. Do we physically feel safe? Do we physically feel ABC? Where can we go and how do we feel about this? Psychological safety is a concept that is not talked about. It is very rare. I don't know why we don't talk about it. Psychological safety means feeling safe to use your boundary. It means feeling safe enough to express your feelings. It means feeling safe enough to tell an adult, no, I don't like that, and I don't want you to do that to me. That's psychological safety. It's the ability to say to your mother, I don't want to eat this food. It makes me uncomfortable. The only way to get psychological safety, and this is what really fucking sucks, the only way to get psychological safety is 100% dependent upon the giver. You do not get psychological safety unless and until it is given to you and proven to you. Psychological safety is rare, unheard of in most cases. There's a reason why it doesn't even come into our society. People lie because they don't feel psychologically safe. Lying is a defense mechanism to keep people safe. The subconscious does it habitually and as many times as it is needed to keep someone safe. So if you're talking to your child and your child lies to you, you have failed to provide the child with a psychologically safe place, which is why the child lies. I had one rule in my house with my children. Lying is allowed. There will be no consequence. The real rule I made for my children was something that I referred to as a safe space. When I needed the truth, I gave my children the full floor and I said to them, safe space, cards on the table, no consequence. You can say whatever you need and no harm will come to you. All three of my children were always honest with me. You know that stage in life when you're 30 and you finally break down and confess all your shit to your parents? My children are doing that now. My 15-year-old is doing it now. Because I ensured they had psychological safety. It was a get out of free card, and there was no limit at all to this get out of jail free card. No punishment whatsoever. And the reason why is because when they did something, I was able to sit down with them and explain to them their subconscious minds and the why and what should have happened. Now, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I will tell you what not punishing them did do. Not punishing my children with corporeal consequentials taught my children that they can trust, that they can love. It taught them that they did not have to fear honesty. If your child is lying to you, if your partner is lying to you, it is because you have taught them to fear honesty. True story. Because I knew the emotion my children were feeling, I knew I was dealing with their subconscious minds and not their identities. Because I was able to talk to my children and negotiate and have dialogue and debate with them, because they knew that there would be no consequence for honesty or for lying, my children had no problems ever opening up to me and telling me whatever they needed. My children always had me at their side. I was still an authority figure. They respected me and they were honest because I guaranteed them a consistent, safe place. To this day, my children are not allowed to swear until they're 18 years old because when they go for job interviews, I want them to be able to control their bad language. So I had a very strict rule that the children were not allowed to swear until they were 18 years old. When they were very young, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, I sat them down and I gave them lessons on every swear word in the world that I could think of, what it meant, everything. They loved that class. And then I ended it by saying, now you know what the words are. You're not ignorant. And if I hear them, you're going to be punished. My kids never swore. Near the end, they did. When they reached 17 and a half years old and they said, fuck it, I know mom's not going to punish me. My daughter would get upset. She said, can I swear? Yes. And she would just let sailor language go. It was more important that she expressed herself healthy in a safe space than lie, lash out, and have to deal with a problem on her own. Psychological safety goes hand in hand with emotions. I was wondering where I was going with this. The whole time I was talking about psychological safety, my brain's going, Anna, my identity and my conscious, subconscious were sitting there going, Anna, where are you going with this? And I'm going, guys, I don't know. I'm just going with it. I'm listening to the intuition. Talk to her. And I pointed identity. That's the shit that happens in my brain. So you can't have psychological safety unless you have, I'm sorry, you can't have emotions and you can't open up and examine those emotions if you don't have psychological safety. Because if you lack psychological safety, your subconscious mind is going to rewire your entire program so that it doesn't talk. If you lack psychological safety and you receive emotions, your subconscious mind is going to override your behavior, put dissociation in place. Put dissociation in place. Thank God for reverse engineering. And it will shut down your emotions so that you can't feel them. Therefore, if you are a person who feels emotions and immediately rejects them and says return to sender and doesn't even bother feeling them, the way back is by, this is really a good thing that I figured this out. The way back is by providing yourself with a psychologically safe place. When you feel psychologically safe, then and only then will you allow the emotions in. Emotions are your greatest fear. That is why you break them down. Emotions are your greatest fear. Oh, interesting. I don't think like that at all. I love my emotions. I always loved my emotions. So I never, some people are actually afraid of their emotions. Wow. That fascinates me. I had no idea. I couldn't imagine being afraid of my emotions. I feel alive when I feel my emotions. So yeah, I just had a huge perspective shift. So now I'm seeing my partner's point of view. I understand my partner. He is terrified of his emotions while I celebrate them. And I don't understand why he would ever reject his emotions. And now I understand why. So you're going to need an extra psychologically safe place. I see. And that will present a safe zone where your emotions can be felt and you can step out. I see. I understand. I understand. Understanding buys you patience, by the way. Understanding equals patience, which is why understanding a partner is so important. Because when you understand, you gain patience. The more you understand, the more patient you are with something. A lack of patience is a lack of understanding. I'm going to say it again, emotional spectrum. So you have understanding over here. Understanding is an emotion. Understanding is an emotion. And over here is patience. Patience comes with an emotion attached to it. So when you have a lack of understanding, actually it's this way, so that understanding patience, a lack of understanding equals a lack of patience. So when you have your full spectrum, you're going to feel far more patient when you have far more understanding of somebody, and your empathy also increases. So empathy, understanding, and patience are all accumulated there. When you raise your conscious awareness, you understand. I have been looking for that answer for 30 years. Conscious awareness is understanding why we behave the way we behave. Conscious awareness allows us to increase our understanding and increase our patience and our empathy so that we have the ability to change a perspective. Without conscious awareness, you cannot have understanding or comprehension. You cannot access patience or empathy. You will have frustration and anger and hate, all because you don't understand. So, by understanding exactly that you have three life titans inside of you, completely running and operating your system, you have very little patience and very little understanding for yourself, for your loved ones, for your children, for your spouses and your partners. Because you lack understanding, you don't have patience, and you get frustrated easily, you get angry, you're already tired, you're already confused because your subconscious mind isn't functioning properly. You have a weird quirk that you just can't seem to get rid of, that every time you hear the word dinner, your whole body starts to shake, but your child is hungry. And your child is hungry a lot because your child doesn't understand why you are afraid of cooking dinner or even thinking about dinner. But your subconscious mind is still running, still putting out messages, still trying to communicate with you, still trying to fight the war on the front line to keep you safe, and you don't even know it because you are running around with a PTSD armor thing over your brain. So you're thinking like you're in a war zone when you're standing in front of your child who's asking you what's for dinner, and you don't know what's going on. So you hate yourself, you hate your children, you hate your husband, and you hate your job because you don't understand and you're frustrated. Well, hi, I am Anna Imagination, and I raise the conscious awareness of people. That is what I do. I can step into your life, look at everything in a heartbeat, and go, I read subconscious mind. Let me tell you what's really going on here. You have neglected your identity, which is one of the major life titans. Your conscious awareness, your lack of understanding of all of this is so low, you don't know what's happening. And the one who's really in charge is the third titan, your subconscious mind, who's been sending you messages probably your whole life telling you that there's problems. Those messages are getting wadded up and thrown away and suppressed by you, the conscious awareness, because that is what you were taught to do, to not feel your emotions because emotions equal danger. So what did the subconscious mind do? It wrapped them up and it threw them away. And now you can't feel emotions. And now you can't go make dinner and your child is hungry. But I know how to turn the conscious mind up. I know how to take you by the hand, lead you into my world, and show you this is how things are really happening. And you need to know this knowledge because by knowing that knowledge, by raising your conscious awareness, you enter into the world of understanding. And when you understand, you have empathy and patience and comprehension And suddenly everything in your life will make beautiful, logical sense. And this applies to you and to me and to our children and our parents and our lovers, our boyfriends, our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends, our teachers, our peers, our coworkers, our boss. This applies to everyone, even your cats and dogs. And once you understand you will look at everybody else and you will understand them. And you will see exactly where you stand and what you need to do just by feeling a little emotion flicker on. But it gets better. I also know how to identify an end goal. Like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have so much financial freedom that I can change the world. Now, I know what characteristics equal to that. So I can just go outside my proverbial head, collect all the traits that I require for those personalities to take place, drop them right into my brain, watch them literally kick out the old beliefs as the new beliefs come in, and my perspective shifts, and boom, I'm standing into the world of manifestation, becoming exactly what it is I want because I've altered my beliefs. Oh, what kind of people we would be then. That is how I see the world. Increased conscious awareness, increased empathy, increased understanding of ourselves and others, increased patience, increased kindness. Fear would go away. Guilt would go away. And then people would have the ability to cherry pick exactly what kind of a life they want, drop it in, and watch it happen. And I believe, I am certain, I now know the exact words I need to speak to make it happen. I do believe I finally found the words. I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to cast a really big spell. And it's going to be a really good one for everyone. But I think if I just use my words will literally shift your perspective exactly where they should be. And you won't have to do any of the work. I'm going to have a conversation with your subconscious mind. I am going to have a conversation with your subconscious mind. I'm going to need your consent because you need to understand that the words I put down on paper are going to change everything. You're stepping out of the matrix. That's what you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of people who cannot come with you. I had to learn that the hard way. So you proceed. You read these words that I'm about to write up. Don't hold me responsible because this is me telling you. You're going to have to make some choices and you are going to have to make some sacrifices. What are you willing to lose? What are you willing to lose? My name is Anna Imagination of the Healing Garden. This has been Psych Soup.